Mr. Wright here, and welcome to this walkthrough of the Summer 2023 Edexcel IGCSE Maths paper 2F, the second of the foundation papers. If you have a look in the description, you can click on a link and download the question paper, and then you can have a go at the questions and then watch the film, or you can work on the questions as you watch the film and work alongside me. Also in the description, you'll find various links to various points in the film, so you don't have to watch the whole thing if you only want to watch specific questions. And at the end of this film, you will find a short film about the grade boundaries for summer 2023, so you can see what grade you would have got if you sat the exam in summer 2023 for real. If you find the film useful, please hit like, please share it with anybody else you know who is preparing for their IGCSE maths exams. If you've got a question, leave me a question in the comments, and of course I'll respond. And if you're preparing for your Edexcel IGCSE exams, then subscribe to the channel, because there's lots more there to help you out. Okay, let's get on with the maths. Question 1. Write in figures the number 7,054. Well, that's 7,000, no hundreds, and 54. Write the number 78,263. Correct the nearest hundred. Well, is it going to be 78,200 or 78,300? Well, because it's 263, it's closer to 78,300, or it's going to round up. So my answer is 78,300. Write down the value of the 7 in this number. Well, it's not units, it's not tens, it's not hundreds, it's not thousands, it's 10,000s. So the value of that 7 is 70,000. Write the number in the box to make the calculation correct. 9 multiplied by something gives you 18,000. Well, I think if it were me, I'd do 18,000 divided by 9 to tell me how many 9s there are in 18,000. And I'd get the answer 2,000. Write a number in the box to make the calculation correct. Well, here we've got 53.7. And here we've got, it's still 537, isn't it? But the digits have been moved. It's been divided by 10. No, more than that, isn't it? It's been divided by 10 how many times? Well, the decimal point has gone 1, 2, and then 2 more. So it's been divided by 10 4 times. So it's been divided by 10,000. That's question 1. Right, let's go on to question 2. Question 2. Here is a list of numbers. 9, 11, 13, 15, 21, 60. Okay. From the list, write down an even number. Well, the only even number there is 60. Ends in a 0. Even numbers end in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. The square number. Which of these numbers can be made by a number times itself? The square number is 9, because that's 3 3s. A multiple of 7, something in the 7 times table. 21 is 3 7s. And a factor of 30. Something which divides into 30 without a remainder. 15. 15 divides into 30 twice. Now, of course, you could always use your calculator to check any of those. And that's number 2 done. Number 3 coming up. Peter owns boarding kennels for dogs. The pictogram shows information about the number of dogs that were at the kennels each day from Monday to Thursday. Let's have a look. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Here's Friday. Nothing in it. Oh, look at this. That symbol represents 8 dogs. How many dogs are at the kennels on Monday? Right, well, that's 8. That's 8. That's 8. Now, what's that? That's half a symbol, isn't it? So that's 4. So 3 8s plus the 4. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 4 is 28. 18 dogs were at the kennels on Friday. Show this information on the pictogram. 18 dogs. So we're going to have, that's 8. Okay, that's going to be 16. And now I need 2 more dogs, don't I? Well, if this whole symbol here is 8 dogs, then it must be 2, 2, 2, and 2. So I just need to draw another quarter, like that. Peter gave each dog 2 biscuits each day. Work out the total number of biscuits that Peter gave the dogs during the 5 days from Monday to Friday. Right, well, let's have a look at Monday. We already know that there are 28 dogs in the kennel on Monday. Now, if he gives each dog 2 biscuits each day, then 28 dogs, let's work out how many, I can't spell biscuits, let's work out how many biscuits that is on a Monday. If there are 28 dogs, I'm going to do 28 times 2 to work out how many biscuits he gives away on a Monday. 56. Right, how many dogs are there on a Tuesday? 8. That's worth 2, isn't it? So there are 10 dogs on a Tuesday. 2 biscuits each, 20 biscuits. Wednesday, 8, 2, 2, and 2. That's 14. So 2 biscuits each, 28 biscuits. Thursday, 8 and 8 makes 16. That's another 4, so 20 dogs, 40 biscuits. And on a Friday, we already know 18 dogs. 18 dogs times by 2, 36. So to work out the total number of biscuits, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going to add up all those numbers. 56 plus 20 plus 28 plus 40 plus 36 gives me 180 biscuits. That's question 3 done. Let's have a look. Question 4. Here is a sequence of patterns made from sticks. Okay, let's just take a moment, have a look at the patterns. Okay, you're not in a rush. Take a look at the patterns. Make sure you can see what's happening. In the space below, draw pattern number 4. Okay, well, pattern number 4 is going to have 4 of these squares. And then each square is going to have a stick across it like that. Complete the table. Now have a look. Pattern number. Pattern number 1. Pattern number 2. Pattern number 3. Okay. Number of sticks. Just check that you know where this number's coming from here. Look, they've counted the number of sticks in pattern 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then in pattern 2, check the number of sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. And then 30. Oh, I see what's happening. Do you see what's happening each time? It's adding 4, isn't it? So it's going to be 17 and 21. Work out the number of sticks in pattern number 10. Well, I can think about 2 ways of doing this. You could just continue this table. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you could just carry on adding 4 each time. That would do it. Or you can work out the formula for the nth term. It's going up in 4s, isn't it? So the nth term is 4n, but I see the first one is a 5, isn't it? So the nth term is 4n plus 1. So pattern number 10 will be 4 times 10 plus 1, 41, which I'm guessing is what you'd have got if you'd done it this way too. Connor says that in pattern number 25 there are 102 sticks. Explain why Connor is wrong. Is he wrong? In pattern 25 there are 102 sticks. Oh, wait a minute, look. Do you see how the number of sticks is always odd? So there's no way there can be 102 sticks. So I would explain why Connor is wrong. The number of sticks is always odd. There we go. That is question 4 done. Question 5. The diagram shows 3 points, A, B, and C marked on a grid. Yes, it does. Write down the coordinates of the point A. Well, it's 2 along and 3 up. So its coordinates are 2, 3. On the grid, mark with a cross the point D. So ABCD is a rectangle. Well, let's draw A to B, AB to C. Now, where would D have to be? So that's a rectangle. Well, I noticed that this is a line like that. So that's going to be a line like that. So D is going to be there, isn't it? So it says on the grid, mark with a cross the point D. There I've marked it. Okay, I'm going to label it just to make sure. But the point is marked with a cross. Do what it says. Find the coordinates of the midpoint of AC. Right, well, this line is AC. Which point is in the middle? It's that point, isn't it? And that is the point 3 along, 0 up. On the grid, draw the line with the equation y equals 4. Well, the line y equals 4 crosses the y-axis at 4. So it's got to cross the y-axis at 4. So it's going to be this line here. Does it say label? Let's have a look. On the grid, draw the line with the equation y equals 4. It doesn't say label it. Often it says draw and label. But I'm going to label it to make sure. That is question 5 finished. Question 6. Write down the mathematical name of this polygon. Right, well, how many sides has it got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's an octagon, isn't it? Now, I suspect it's a regular octagon because I suspect all of those sides are the same length. But I see it's only the 1 mark, and I can't measure the sides on my screen, so I'm just going to say octagon. Measure the length of the line AB, give your answer in centimetres. Well, I can't do that on the screen, so I'll just leave you to use your ruler and to measure the length of that line. Okay. Here are 6 triangles drawn on a grid of squares. 2 of the triangles are congruent. Write down the letters of these 2 triangles. Well, it's just really a test. Do you know what the word congruent means? It means they're the same. And the 2 triangles that are the same here are triangle B and triangle D. Because they're both right-angle triangles, they've got sides of 2 and 3 and a hypotenuse there. And you can imagine if you picked up B, you could plonk it on top of D. So B and D are congruent. And that's question 6 done. Question 7. The diagram shows a fair 6-sided spinner. Okay, there we are. I can see the spinner. And I can see it's got 6 places it can end up. Okay. Mario spins the spinner once. Spins the arrow on the spinner once. Write down the word from the box that best describes the likelihood the arrow will land on green. Well, here's the only green one, right? So it's possible, isn't it? But it's less than half, isn't it? It's going to be unlikely. So that's my answer for that one. Because in fact, the probability is only 1 out of 6, isn't it? Right, probability the spinner will land on yellow. Well, for yellow, that's half of them, isn't it? So it's going to be evens. And blue, well, there aren't any blues, so that's going to be impossible. That would be a probability of 0 if they were asking us for numerical answers. That's question 7 done. Question 8. A hall has 26 rows of seats. Okay, 26 rows. There are 14 seats in each row. Should we work out how many seats there are altogether? I don't know if it's going to be useful or not, but let's do that. 26 times 14. 26 times 14 equals 364 seats. Okay, that's how many people can sit in the hall. Annie sells tickets for 3/4 of the seats in the hall. She sells each ticket for €15. Work out the total amount Annie gets from selling tickets. Well, each one she sells for €15. All we need to do is to work out how many seats she actually sold. Well, she sold 3/4 of the 364. 3/4 of 364. Now you can work out 1/4 and times it by 3, or you could remember that of means times and just do 3/4 times 364 on your calculator. However you do it, I hope you get the answer 273. So she sold 273 seats for €15 each. 273 times 15. I wonder how much money she got altogether. €4,095 altogether. And that's question 8 done. Question 9. Here is a sketch of a triangle, ABC. AC equals 8. That's marked on the diagram. That's marked on the diagram. And the angle's marked on the diagram. In the space below, make an accurate drawing of triangle ABC. AC has been drawn for you. Now, I'm not going to be able to do this perfectly on the screen, but I'll show you the steps. So here's AC, and you know that this angle here must be 38 degrees. So I don't know where to draw this. Use a protractor. Measure 38 degrees. It's going to be something like that. Put a dot where 38 degrees comes. That's far too far. That's not very good at all. Come on, right. So it's going to be more like that. So that's 38 degrees. So now, ruler, pencil, line it up carefully and draw your line too long through that point. Label this 38. Next, well, you know that's 8 centimeters already. This length is 6.5, isn't it? So you should really get your compass out. Measure at 6.5 and draw an arc. Okay, and now you know that this point here is 6.5 centimeters along the line. And then finally, I'll draw this final line in blue. You can join up point A through that point there. And those are the steps for the construction. So that's number 9, not done very well, but still. Number 10. Adriana makes some cupcakes. Okay. She sells each cupcake for £2.20. Mike buys 6 cupcakes, pays with a £20 note. How much change should he receive? Well, how much does he spend? £2.20 times 6. 2.2 times 6. Right, so he spends £13.20. So to work out how much change he gets, I'm going to do 20 minus £13.20. Gives me £6.80 change. Greta sells balloons. She sells each balloon for £0.85, and Stefan has £50 to spend on balloons. Work out the greatest number of balloons he can buy. Well, you could do £50 divided by 0.85 to work out how many 0.85s you can get into 50. Now, when I do that, I make it that he can buy 58.82 and so on balloons. So obviously, he can buy 58 balloons. Of course, if you wanted to, you could have worked in pence, and you could have done £50. It's 5,000 pence divided by 0.85. And if you've done that, you'd have got exactly the same number of balloons. And the answer is, how many balloons can he buy? 58. That's question 10. Right, let's go on to question 11. Trisha asked 90 people to name their favourite type of cheese to put on a pizza. Okay, she's going to draw a pie chart for her results. Okay, 55 of the 90 people said mozzarella was their favourite. Work out the size of the angle on the pie chart for this sector representing mozzarella. Well, people and degrees. There are 90 people to fit into the pie chart, and the pie chart has 360 degrees. So each person gets 4 degrees because 360 divided by 90 is 4. So how many degrees will 55 people get? We'll do 55 times by 4. You can use a calculator for that. And you get the answer 220 degrees. Right, in this question we're asking a different group of people to name their favourite ice cream flavour. Here are the results. We don't know how many people he asked in total. But look, 39 of the people said vanilla was their favourite. So this is 39 people. Work out how many of the people Hasher asked said chocolate was their favourite. Okay, well, let's do people in degrees again, shall we? People, degrees. Now, 39 people are represented by 195 degrees. 195 divided by 39, each person is 5 degrees. Work out how many of the people said chocolate was their favourite. Well, that's 75 degrees. So to work out how many people that is, I'll do 75 divided by 5 because it's 5 degrees for each person. So 15 people said chocolate was their favourite. And that is question 11 done. Let's move on to question 12. Question 12. A circle has a radius of 8.5. Work out the circumference of the circle. Can you remember which formula to use? Well, pi r squared sounds like area to me. When I need circumference, I use pi d. Now, in this case, the radius is 8.5, so the diameter is double that. 8.5 times 2, the diameter is 17, so the circumference will be pi times 17. And it wants your answer correct to 3 significant figures. If it said give your answer in terms of pi, then you could just write 17 pi. But it doesn't say that. It wants you to do 17 times pi on your calculator and get the answer, which on my calculator is 53.40707 and so on. And we want it to 3 significant figures. 1, 2, 3. There's the cutoff. 53.4 or 53.5? 53.4, because that 4 is not followed by 5 or more. And that's question 12 done. Question 13. Expand this bracket. Right, so it's x lots of 3 minus x. So x times the 3 is 3x. Copy the sign. X times x is x squared. 3x minus x squared. Factorize fully. Right, what factors do these two have in common? Well, I think the highest thing I can take out is a 6, isn't it? It's going to be 6. And then that's going to have to be 2a minus 3b. Okay, there are 8 slices of cheese in a small pack. Okay, there are 20 slices of cheese in each large pack. We're going to buy H small packs and J large packs, and that's going to give me a total of T slices. Write down a formula for T, the total. Well, the total number of slices. Now, in the H small packs, each one has 8 slices, right? So that's going to be 8 times H slices. That's 8H. That's the number of slices of cheese in the small packs, plus how many slices of cheese in J large packs? Well, there's 20 slices in one pack, so 20 times J is the number of slices in J large packs. So the total is 8H plus 20J. Okay, number 14. We've got an exchange rate here. $1 is 0.85 euros, and $1 is also 6.45 yen. Change $720 to euros. Well, $1 is 0.85 euros. So if I'm changing $720, I'm going to times by 720, because each dollar is worth 0.85. So $720 is worth 720 times 0.85. 612 euros. Change 2,580. I've just forgotten what those are called. What are we calling them? Yuan? $2. Right. For every 6.45, you get $1. So we want to know how many 6.45s there are in 2580. 2580 divided by 6.45 gives me 400. That's question 14 done. Right. Question 15. Finn is asked to find the value of 5 plus 3 squared plus 12. Well, if I was doing that, I'd do 5. Now you have to do the 3 squared first, don't you? So that's 3 times 3 is 9 plus 12. Oh, now what's he done? Here's the working. 5 plus 3 squared plus 12. That's the question. Then somehow he's got 8 squared. How has he got 8 squared? Finn's answer is wrong. Yes, it is. Explain what he's done wrong. Oh, look, he's done 5 plus 3 to get 8 and then square it, hasn't he? So he hasn't done the squaring first. So that's probably what I'd write. He needs to do 3 squared first. Something like that. Write one pair of brackets in this calculation, so the answer is correct. Now, you could do lots of trial and error here, of course. If there aren't any brackets, we're going to do the 2 times 6. And then we're going to have minus 16, 4 squared, minus 14. We want the answer to be 10. So really, I just want to take 2 off the 12, don't I? And if you put brackets around here, then that is going to be 12 minus, and now you do the bracket, 16 minus 14 would be 2. So you would get 10. So where do the brackets have to go? They have to go here. But if you don't see that quickly, it doesn't matter. Just do lots of trying out and finding out. Right. Part C, work out the value of x squared plus 5 times y when x equals minus 3 and y equals 2. Well, x squared, x is minus 3. Now careful, you better write that because you need to remember it's minus 3. All squared is minus 3 times minus 3. So that's 9, because a minus times a minus is a plus. Plus 5 times 2, so plus 10, 19. That's question 15 done. Where is it? Here it is. That's question 15 done. Right, going up to question 16. Find the scale drawing shows the positions of 2 airports, P and Q. Find by measuring the bearing of P, so the bearing of this one, from here. Now the bearing is measured from the north, isn't it? So it's going to be that angle. So you have to measure that angle with your protractor. I have no idea what it is. A small plane flies directly from P to Q. The plane takes 2 hours to fly from P to Q. Work out the average speed of the plane. Now, annoyingly, I can't do this on the screen. You need to know the distance from P to Q. So measure this line. Then you've got it in centimetres. Then convert it into kilometres. So now you know how many kilometres it is from Q to P. If you want to know the speed, you're going to do that distance divided by time, d divided by 2. That will tell you how many kilometres the plane must go each hour. So that's the speed of the plane. Question 17. Right, we've got to show that division is 3 8/9. So let's ignore the fact they've told us the answer. And we're just going to work out this division, showing all our stages of working. First thing we're going to do is make these fractions into improper fractions. So 4 times 3 plus 2 is 14 thirds divided by 1 times 5 plus 1, 6 over 5. Right, keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction. Change the sign, flip the second fraction. Top times top, 14 times 5. Well, on my calculator, that's 70. 3 times 6, 18. Now, on my calculator, I'm going to put 70 over 18 as a fraction and press equals, and I get 35 over 9. And now I'm going to shift S to D to turn it into a mixed number. 3 and 8/9. Look at that. That's what they said it would equal. Let's look at question 18. Question 18. A bias spinner can land on green or on yellow or on brown or on pink. Green, yellow, brown, pink. The table gives the probabilities that when the spinner is spun, it will land on green, on yellow, or on brown. Yes, it does. Right. We're spinning the spinner 200 times. Work out an estimate for the number of times it lands on pink. Well, we really want to know the probability that it'll land on pink. I know that all of these probabilities altogether must add up to 1. So let's work out the total of the ones we know. 0.32, 0.13, 0.28. Add those up with a calculator. 0.32 plus 0.13 plus 0.28. They add up to 0.73. 1 minus 0.73, 0.27. So the probability of landing on pink is 0.27. So if I spin it 200 times, I would expect it to land on pink how many times? 0.27 times 200. 54 times. And that's question 18 done. Question 19 coming up. ABCD is a trapezium. BC is parallel to AD. Find the size of the largest angle. Well, just a minute. If those two lines are parallel, then this angle and this angle, that's like one of those F angles, isn't it? Right? They're going to add to 180. So I know that the angle at B, 3x plus 46, plus the angle at A, 4x minus 27, equals 180. So if I tidy up that left-hand side, I get 7x. Now 46 minus 27, so 7x plus 19 equals 180. Minus 19 from both sides. 7x equals 180 minus 19, 161. Divide by 7 to get 1x. X is 23. Now what does the question say? Find the size of the largest angle inside the trapezium. Here we are, back to the question. So now I know that x is 23. So I suppose I could work out what each of these angles are. Should we do that? Well, this angle is 4x minus 27. So 4 times 23 times 23 is 92 minus 27. So that angle is 65. This angle is 3x plus 46. So 3 times 23 plus 46. That's 115. That's the biggest angle so far. This one's smaller than 90. Let's work it out anyway, shall we? So 3x, that's 3 times 23 plus 10. So that angle's 79. So this angle here, well, a couple of ways you can work that out. You know that those two add to 180, so it's going to be 101, or you know there are 360 degrees in total in the trapezium. But either way, the size of the largest angle inside the trapezium is 115. It's that angle at B, isn't it? Let's move on to question 20. Complete the table of values for this formula. Y is equal to x squared minus x minus 4. So you get x, you square it, you take away x, then you minus 4. Now, if I were you, I'd try it with this one to make sure that you're using the formula correctly, because you know that that should give you an answer of 2, don't you? So try minus 2 squared, put that in your calculator, minus 2 minus 4. And if you do that correctly, you should get the answer 2. So now you can do exactly the same process with the other numbers. So let's do minus 3, shall we? Minus 3 squared minus 3 minus 4. 9 plus 3 minus 4 gives you 8. Of course, you can use a calculator, but you must put the right thing into the calculator. Let's do this one. Minus 1 squared minus 1 minus 4. Minus 1 times minus 1 is 1. Plus 1 minus 4 minus 2. Right, if x is 0, then you're going to get 0 squared, well that's just 0, minus 0, minus 4, minus 4. If x is 2, you're going to get 2 squared, minus 2, minus 4. 4 minus 2, minus 4, minus 2. And when x is 3, you're going to get 3 squared, minus 3, minus 4. 9 minus 3 minus 4 is 2. So those are the values of y. The table is now complete. On the grid below, draw the graph. Now be careful. Look, they put a different scale on the x-axis than they have on the y. Don't let that catch you out. Right, we've got to plot the point minus 3, 8. There we go. Minus 2, 2. Minus 1, minus 2. 0, minus 4. 1 minus 4. 2 minus 2. 3, 2. Now when you join this up, you're going to join it up with a smooth curve, and you are not going to go straight across there. Okay, you need to avoid that. You need to do a smooth curve. It's going to be tricky on the screen, but I'm sure you'll do a better job than me. Goes down and smoothly up again. There we go. On the grid below, draw the graph of y equals x squared minus x minus 4 for the values of x from minus 3 to plus 3. I've done it. That's question 20 done. Question 21. Nancy has some coins with a total value of 85 pence. She has only 2 pence and 5 pence coins. The number of 2 pence coins to the number of 5 pence coins is 1 to 3. Nancy has more 5 pence coins than 2 pence coins. How many more? Right, we're going to have to work out how many 2 pence coins she has and how many 5 pence coins. Now we know that the number of 2 pence to the number of 5 pence is 1 to 3. And that's 4 coins in all, isn't it? Now what about the value of that? Well, the value of 1 2 pence is 2 pence. And the value of 3 5 pences is 15 pence. So the value of that will be 17 pence. And what do we have? We have a value of 85, don't we? Sorry, we have a value of 85. So how many times that value have we got? 85 divided by 17. We've got 5 times as much value. So we're going to need to have 5 times the number of 5p coins, 5 times the number of 2p coins. So we're going to need to have 5 2 pence coins and 15 5 pence coins. Nancy has more 5 pence than 2 pence. Yes, she does. How many more? 10 more. Number 22. Write that number in standard form. Well, it's 76 million, but in standard form you'd have to say 7.6 times 10 to the what? Count the places, times 10 to the 7. Right, 5.4 times 10 to the minus 4 as an ordinary number. So we're going to move the decimal point backwards 3 places. The first place jumps over the 5, so now you've got that. 3 more places, there are going to be 3 zeros there after the point. 3 zeros, and then the 5 and the 4. Question 23. A and C are points on a circle centre O. DA is tangent to the circle at A, and DC is... wait a minute. Remember this circle formula? That's a 90 degree, isn't it? And that's a 90 degree. The angle between the radius and the tangent. 90, 90. Angle ADC is 48. Yes, that's labelled. Work out the size of the reflex angle AOC. It wants this angle here. And I don't know what that angle is, but I'm thinking I could work out what this angle is, because I've got a quadrilateral there, haven't I? Right, this is a quadrilateral, so the angles inside a quadrilateral add up to 360. So that means that that red angle in the middle, the red shaded angle, is equal to 360 minus 90 minus 90 minus 48. So that red angle is equal to 132. So if this angle is 132, then the angle we want is 360 minus 132. Gives me 228. That's question 23 done. Question 24. Charlotte buys a painting for £680. The value of the painting increases by 4% each year. So we increase by 4%, we multiply by 1.04, don't we? And it happens for 3 years, so we're going to multiply by 1.04 to the power of 3. Or you could do 680 times 1.04 for the first year, 1.04 for the second year, and 1.04 for the third year. You're going to get the same answer either way. 680 times 1.04 to the power of 3 gives me an answer of 764.90752. Work out the value at the end of the 3 years. Give your answer correct to the nearest dollar. 764 or 765? 765, because it's going to round up. Question 25. Change a speed of 27 kilometers an hour to a speed in meters per second. If it's 27 kilometers per hour, I wonder how many meters it is every hour. Well, that's going to be 27,000 meters every hour, because there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So if it's that many meters every hour, could I work out how many meters it would go every minute? Well, to do that, I'll divide by 60, since there are 60 minutes in an hour. So 27,000 divided by 60. So it's going to go 450 meters every minute if it goes 27,000 meters every hour. So now, final step, can I convert it to meters per second? Well, if it goes 450 meters every minute, if I divide by 60 again, then I can work out how many meters it would go every second. And the answer I get is 7.5. Question 26. Team A and Team B take part in a quiz league. Okay. After 11 rounds, Team A has a mean score per round of 17. After 9 rounds, Team B has a mean score per round of 18. Okay. Both teams take part in a further round. After this round, both teams have a mean score per round of 18.5. Okay. In the further round, Team A scored more points than Team B. How many more? Well, let's have a look at Team A first, shall we? Team A. Now, it says after 11 rounds, their mean was 17. So we can work out their total after 11 rounds, because we get the number of rounds times the mean. So their total after 11 rounds is 11 times 17, 187. And then they're going to do another round, aren't they? So they're going to do a 12th round, right? Now, after the 12th round, they want their mean to be 18.5, so their new total must be 12 times 18.5. So their new total, their total after 12 rounds, is going to be 222. So if they had a total of 222 after 12 rounds and a total of 187 after 11 rounds, if I do 222 minus 187, I can work out how many points they must have scored in the 12th round. They must have scored 35 points. Now let's go through the same process with Team B. Now, their total. After 9 rounds, their mean was 18, so their total must have been 9 times 18. 9 times 18, their total must have been 162 after 9 rounds. And then after 10 rounds, we want their new mean to be 18.5, so their total must be 10 times 18.5, 185. So if they scored a total of 185 after 10 rounds and 162 after 9 rounds, then they must have scored 23 points in that 10th round. 185 minus 162. Now let's look at the question. In the further round, Team A scored more points than Team B. Did they? Team A scored 35, Team B scored 23. Yes, they did. How many more? Well, that's going to be the difference between 35 and 23. So they scored 12 more points. And that's number 26 done. Question 27. Here is a 9-sided regular polygon with center O. Okay. It's got some straight lines which look like straight lines. Work out the value of x. Well, I know several things about a regular 9-sided polygon. I can work out the exterior angle of a 9-sided polygon by doing 360 divided by 9. So the exterior angle is 40 and the interior angle is 140. So I can fill in 140 here. I can fill in 40 here. Now, what else do I know about a 9-sided polygon? Well, the angle at the center, here say, or here say, is the same as the exterior angle. So that angle is 40 and that angle is 40. Now this angle here is 2 of those slices. So that angle is 80. Now just a minute. Do you notice how this length is from the center to a corner and this length is from a center to a corner? So this and this are the same angle. Can we work out what that angle is going to be? Well, I can do it in several ways. I'm going to do it like this. This is a quadrilateral. So it has a total of 360 degrees. So I'm going to do 360 minus 80 minus 140 and then divide that by 2 to share it between the two unknown angles. 360 minus 80 minus 140 equals, divided by 2 equals. So each of those angles there is 70. So that's 70 and that's 70. Now, if this angle D is 70, then this angle is 110 because of 180 on a straight line. And now look at this. I've got this triangle here. It's got E, which is 40. It's got a top angle of 110, and it's got that angle of X. So X is the third angle in the triangle. Equals 30. I don't think that was an easy question at all, but it is the penultimate question on the paper, so it's bound to be tricky. Question 28. Right, let's have a look at this. The diagram shows a right-angled triangle ABD. AB is 14, that's marked. AD is 8. C is the point on BD, such that angle BAC is 38. That's marked. Work out the length of CD. It wants me to work out that length. Okay. Well, if only I knew this angle. because then I could use the bottom right angle triangle, couldn't I, in trigonometry to work out the length of CD. So I'm wondering if there's a way I can work out that green angle. Well, if I could work out the whole of that angle, then I could take away 38, and then I'd have the green angle. So now I'm thinking, is there a way I can work out the whole of that red angle? Let's draw the triangle out here, the big one, with the red angle there. That's 14, that's a right angle, that's 8. Wait a minute, I can use cos, can't I? Cos the angle, so I'll call that x. Cos x equals the adjacent 8 over the hypotenuse. So on my calculator, I'm going to go 8 divided by 14 equals, shift cos equals. Right, I know that angle there is 55.15. So now I know what that green angle is here. That green angle is going to be 55.15 minus 38. So that green angle is 17.15. Now let's draw that bottom triangle. It looks like this. That's 17.15. That's a right angle. That's 8. And I really want to know what this is. I'll call it y. So that's the answer to the question, isn't it? Now I can use tan there. So I'm looking for the opposite, aren't I? So the opposite y is going to be tan the angle, 17.15, times 8. So I've got 17.15 on my screen already. So I'm going to find tan of that and times that by 8. Gives me an answer for y, 2.4687 and so on. And it wants it to 3 significant figures. So there's the cutoff point, 2.47. And that is question 28 done. Question 28. Right, let's have a look at this. The diagram shows a right-angled triangle ABD. AB is 14, that's marked. AD is 8. C is the point on BD, such that angle BAC is 38. That's marked. Work out the length of CD. It wants me to work out that length. Okay. Well, if only I knew this angle, because then I could use the bottom right angle triangle, couldn't I, in trigonometry to work out the length of CD. So I'm wondering if there's a way I can work out that green angle. Well, if I could work out the whole of that angle, then I could take away 38, and then I'd have the green angle. So now I'm thinking, is there a way I can work out the whole of that red angle? Let's draw the triangle out here, the big one, with the red angle there. That's 14, that's a right angle, that's 8. Wait a minute, I can use cos, can't I? Cos the angle, so I'll call that x. Cos x equals the adjacent 8 over the hypotenuse. So on my calculator, I'm going to go 8 divided by 14 equals, shift cos equals. Right, I know that angle there is 55.15. So now I know what that green angle is here. That green angle is going to be 55.15 minus 38. So that green angle is 17.15. Now let's draw that bottom triangle. It looks like this. That's 17.15. That's a right angle. That's 8. And I really want to know what this is. I'll call it y. So that's the answer to the question, isn't it? Now I can use tan there. So I'm looking for the opposite, aren't I? So the opposite y is going to be tan the angle, 17.15, times 8. So I've got 17.15 on my screen already. So I'm going to find tan of that and times that by 8. Gives me an answer for y, 2.4687 and so on. And it wants it to 3 significant figures. So there's the cutoff point, 2.47. And that is question 28 done.
Mr. Wright here, and well done for making it through to the end of the paper.
In a moment, I'll show you the grade boundaries and I'll show you how to calculate what grade you would have got had you been sitting this paper or this set of papers. But first, if you found these video walkthroughs useful, please do hit like. It really helps the channel and it tells me that you have found the film useful, and it's good to have some positive feedback. Of course, if you want to see more of the same, do subscribe to the channel and then you'll get notifications every time I post something new. So, the grade boundaries. Well, here they are. And what you need to do is to add together your 2 marks on the 2 papers. Of course, both marks out of 100, so that gives you a total out of 200. And then you can use this table to read off what your grade would have been had you sat this set of papers. Leave me a comment, tell me how you've done, and good luck with your exams.